out of space on my iPhone. I done offloaded every freaking app. I hate this phone. Y'all who's like, iPhone. Y'all sheeple. I'm sorry, but you are. I got on board because everybody else in my family's iPhone, and I wanted to be able to share locations and do all the iPhone cool stuff with everybody else in my family, but I hate this phone. It ain't even a good phone. Like, the basic function it's supposed to have, it don't even do that right. Anyway, what's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple minutes, I have a couple of messages that I gotta get off in this one video because I ain't got no more space on this dumbass iPhone. Talking relationships, we're talking the 80-20 rule and how we're going to have successful relationships. So I'm not gonna reprise last video. So 80% of the things that you maintain your individuality behind, 20% are the things that you choose to evolve about yourself because you're coming into union evolution. So it's not things that your spouse necessarily accepts about you. It's things that you sat down with your spouse and you did a check-in and you're like, okay, how are things going? How can we better move as a union? How can we make this relationship work? And this is at the marriage level. This isn't at the dating fiance level. Them people are temporary and you don't need to change a thing about yourself until you have your forever, in my opinion. You could pick some things up like best practices throughout those relationships, but who you change yourself at the core for is your forever. So anyway, that 20% is union evolution, because when you unite with something, you have to come together. And the only way that we can come together is if we stop bumping up against each other, and we stop bumping up against each other because we are evolving and changing together. So this 80% you came in, that's your individuality, that's your personality. Those are all the things that you love about yourself. Those are all the things that we love about you as well. This 20% is probably things that you don't even like about yourself. But historically, we fight it because ain't nobody changing me. But if your spouse, your forever, comes to you and says this is an aspect of your personality that doesn't vibe with the direction we're trying to go as a couple, change that shit, because chances are you don't like it either. You don't like that you're a procrastinator. You don't like that you have a short temper. You don't like that you don't wash your hands after you use the bathroom. I don't know. You don't like those things about yourself either. But you would sooner fight somebody, your spouse, the person you're supposed to be uniting with, you would sooner fight them than to do the work to evolve it. And maybe we should change the language from change to evolve. We need to evolve into these relationships. We need to evolve to who we're going to be for this person, because this is the person that we are now. So if you have joined with someone and you guys are bumping up against each other, you have that 80% commonality, but you guys are bumping up against each other, and this 20% is because of the unwillingness to evolve and shift who you were prior to that person to the person you need to be with this person. All right, it looks like it's let me make another video, so let's go. Lonnie Appleton here. If you got a couple minutes, got a couple of messages. I'm talking about friendships evolving into relationships and how to have a sustainable relationship. So first, we know we need to be friends first. After we become friends, we know that we like all these things about each other and we accept these things about each other. But if we can move past acceptance, then we need to move into evolution and evolving those 20% of unlikable behaviors and characteristics for our spouse. We need to become the person that our spouse likes, and that's on both sides. One person can't change. So here's how we stay together and create a solid union, not this shaky stuff, this solid stuff where both of you know this is what we're doing, nobody's going anywhere, this is forever, and we're growing. This can be rooted in a feeling, but a feeling isn't enough because we're all individuals coming together with all these different backgrounds, and we gotta somehow figure out how our individual backgrounds come together and create us. So in order to create this solid foundation, you need to have conversations, open and honest conversations, judgment-free zones. This is what makes me feel insecure. This is what you do that makes me angry. This is what happens when. And we need to be open to receive that communication and work together to find a common ground. I work with my kids so much. I'm just like, and same with my spouse, but I'm willing to bend to my children. So you know I'm willing to bend to my spouse. What are the circumstances that are necessary in order for me to get what I want? What do you need? And those are the exact same conversations that need to be happening with your spouse. Look, Dre turns on the damn heat every morning and we be in here dying because, I don't know, didn't need more iron or something. But we be in here dying and I was like, Dre, we get it. You want to warm up. But do you have to warm up to 80 degrees? You need to warm up to 82 degrees. You're just pumping it that high because you're like, I'm cold. What's the opposite of cold? 80. And you pump it all the way up. But then you leave, and now we're all sitting in this furnace, and you're gone, and you forgot to turn it off. So we get it. We're going to bend to you. We get it. You need the heat. So we're all willing to be a little bit uncomfortable for you to get comfortable. But can you be a little bit uncomfortable and only turn it up to 74 so that you can warm up enough and we don't die? So we all have to meet each other in the middle. We're willing to sustain you turning on the heat. Are you willing to not turn it up to 80 to where we're a bunch of baked niggas up in here? Y'all got baked potatoes, we got baked niggas. So you do the same thing in your relationships, and that's how you become successful. This is how you bump up against your spouse and you're just like, okay, this is the problem we're having. And a lot of the arguments that we have are the same freaking arguments. And the reason why you're going back and forth is because somebody's unwilling to change, evolve. First and foremost, stop getting in relationships where you only have 20% in common with them. Stop. If you want to stop having short-term relationships, stop uniting with people you only have one thing in common with, which is usually sex. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton. If you have a couple of minutes, we are talking about sustaining a relationship and friends becoming lovers. So after you stop uniting with the people you only have 20% in and you start establishing a relationship based off of 80%, which means in order to get to that 80%, you must be a friend first. Nobody's gonna come in saying, this is who I am. And even if you do have a friend, they're probably faking for you too. So let's stop being fake. First of all, stop being fake. After you stop being fake, be friends first. Get to know the 80%. Stop forming relationships on 20%. Form them on 80% friendship, 20% acceptance. Once you come together, union, evolution. You evolve to who you are together. Not two individuals fighting to remain individuals. No, two individuals come together and now you're working together to shift this 20%. So now you have 100% relationship. Whew. I said something there and hopefully y'all picked that up, but that is the solution to your relationship problems right there. The fact that we are so stubborn that we don't want to work together is the reason why our relationships fail. The friendships that are founded on something, and you don't have to be a soulmate. Yes, me and Dre are a soulmate, we're meant to be together situation. But people can still come together and work together. It's just two people coming together and choosing to be authentic and have a working relationship. And I'm not saying a business deal relationship, we both equally benefit from this, so we're going to come together so we could monetize off of us. That's going to fail. What I'm talking about, a working relationship, is you both come together and you do the work for the relationship. Everything, anything that y'all clash about, because think, you have your whole life, she has her whole life, or he has their whole life, and you guys come together and now you're clashing. That's to be expected. His mama did things one way, your mama did things one way, his daddy did, and grandma did, and whoever the hell raised him. I was raised by a bit of everybody. Everybody did something different. And that's why I'm so eclectic, because I was fed into by everybody. Not really fed into, I just was picking up stuff. But anyway, that's another story. Isn't that simple? Most relationships that you have been in have probably fallen apart because you got together too soon and nobody wanted to communicate and no one wanted to bend to the other one's will. So simple.